It's not often that a royal story shakes both Parliament and the palace at the same time. But this moment, this is different. Because behind closed doors, powerful people are quietly preparing for something almost unthinkable, erasing a senior royal from the future of the monarchy altogether. And the craziest part? Insiders say the discussion started long before the public knew anything was happening. For years, the question lingered in the background. How close to the throne should one man remain after so many controversies, connections, and unanswered questions? But after this week's events, an arrest, an 11-hour interrogation, and a silent parade of unmarked cars slipping into a royal estate, the conversation changed dramatically. Now the focus is on one thing: distancing the monarchy from a crisis that refuses to fade. But the real twist: government officials have revealed they're not just reacting. They've been preparing. What stunned people the most wasn't the investigation. It was the admission that the government and the palace have been quietly working together on a plan to ensure he never gets anywhere near the throne. A defense minister openly said it's the right thing to do, even before police reach any conclusions. That kind of alignment between crown and parliament is rare, and it only happens when the stakes are sky high. For months, the public was told there were no plans to change anything. Yet behind that calm exterior, drafts were circulating, legal experts consulted, and political parties approached for support. Even insiders admit there's been a desperate desire to draw a clean line between the monarchy and the scandal that has been following it like a shadow. And that's where things got even more intense. Because while these conversations were happening in private, something dramatic unfolded in public. Royal Lodge, the quiet Windsor estate where he lived for decades, suddenly swarmed with police vehicles. At one point, more than 20 cars could be seen near the property. Officers from multiple forces began coordinating searches. Rumors online exploded, and the story that had been simmering for years suddenly roared back into spotlight. Former government advisors warned that this investigation could spiral out of control. Not because of one moment, but because multiple regions were reviewing whether to launch their own inquiries. Each new department met new witnesses, new paperwork, new statements. It was a chain reaction no one inside the royal bubble wanted to see. And while the palace stayed silent in public, insiders say privately they were watching every second of this unfold. Politicians reacted quickly, but not consistently. Some parties immediately supported legislation to remove him from succession and strip him of any remaining constitutional role. Others questioned whether the legal process was even necessary, pointing out he would never reach the throne regardless. Behind the scenes, officials warned that changes to royal succession are legally messy. They require debate, drafting, cross-party support, and, most complicated of all, the approval of multiple nations outside the UK. That means any decision would ripple across the world, from Canada to Australia to Jamaica. This wasn't just a British issue anymore. It was international. And yet, despite the complexity, the momentum kept building. Because here's the part many people missed. This isn't just about the order of names on a list. Removing someone from a line of succession also removes them from one of the monarchy's most sensitive roles, Counselor of State. That means no temporary authority, no standing in during crises, no constitutional influence whatsoever. In other words, this isn't a symbolic change. It's a full removal of power. Insiders say senior royals understand that clearly. They know the monarchy survives by maintaining public trust, and distancing the institution from scandal has become the top priority. The king is said to be approaching the situation through a strict separation of family versus institution. And his closest advisors are reportedly reminding him that public sentiment matters more than ever. Even Queen Camilla, who spent decades as an ordinary member of the public before joining the royal family, is believed to be tuning into the mood of the country and using that insight to help steer decisions. But the biggest question now is what happens next. Police searches are continuing. Investigations across multiple forces may expand. Support in Parliament seems to be growing. And the palace, though silent, is reportedly preparing for long-term consequences. Some see this as long overdue accountability. Others see it as an unprecedented step, one that could change how the monarchy handles scandal forever. And then there are the rumors, online whispers claiming that the palace is bracing for even more revelations, though nothing of that is confirmed. Still, one thing is clear: removing a royal from the line of succession isn't just historic, it's explosive. This isn't just a political decision. It's a moment that could reshape the monarchy's future, how it protects itself, how it adapts, and how it handles the fallout when one of its own threatens the institution's stability. Because once a royal is removed from the future of the crown, there's no going back.